Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, how do you pick the ideal mate? You know, if you're looking for a serious, committed, long term relationship, you're looking to get married, how do you find the right person? A lot of us have become experts in finding the wrong person. And we always wonder after that, how did I end up with that person? What was I thinking? Becomes this perpetual search for some people. My dad was married 6 times. People just go from marriage to marriage trying to find the right person. They think it's the right person when they start off, and a couple years into it, the whole thing falls apart and they just go on to the next one. That can be a frustrating game to play, leapfrog, going from failed relationship to failed relationship. And it doesn't mean that it's your fault, but the relationship itself, as an agreement, as a commitment, fell apart. I always like to look within. So, a practice that you can do if you're single and you're wondering about the ideal mate and how do I find, I don't want to say the perfect person because there's nobody perfect, but how do I find the right person? First, you want to get to know really well what it is that you're looking for. When we have a goal, we want to be able to clearly identify that goal and to be able to kick it around and formulate it into something solid that's tangible, that you can really talk about, think about, and that really makes sense, that you can laser focus in on it. If it's vague, if it's cloudy, it's going to be hard to accomplish that goal. So you want to be able to find out what your type is. Now, you got to get beyond, if it's guys, it can't just be, oh, well, I like blonde hair and big tits. So does everybody. You have to be more specific than that. So you want to write a list, do 2 lists. You want to write one list of all the things that you like in a relationship, all the things that you're looking for, all the qualities that you like someone to have, from physical to character, personality traits, existential stuff. What religion do you want? You want to date a Muslim chick? You want to date a Jewish chick or a Christian chick? Put it on there. Just whatever that make a profile out of everything you like, and then do another list of everything that you don't like, deal breakers, whatever that may be for you. You don't like midgets? Nobody under 3 feet tall. Sorry, I can't marry somebody who's that short. Whatever the deal breaker is for you. If she's liberal and you don't like that, that's something that you're not open-minded to, you're conservative, put it on there. Nobody's going to judge this list. You're not showing the list to anybody. Just put the honest stuff on there that you don't want, and then you'll have both of these lists, the good list and the bad list, and you can compare those things and really get yourself an idea of your parameters, of things that you're looking for, qualities that you're hunting for and shopping for that you like, and have yourself some boundaries of stuff that you don't like, stuff that is deal breakers. And you'll learn something about yourself doing this list. When I did that process, I found the lists were much harder to make than I had thought. I thought I was going to go into it and just start writing tons of things. And I actually found that the list of bad things was easier to come up with than the list of good things. And it really made me start to think, wow, I need to come up with something more than just big tits and a pretty face. That can't just be, well, I'll marry her, after that. So you'll learn about yourself. You can use that parameter, that ideal mate, that image that you've created, because what you've done now is just created basically this fantasy image of what your ideal mate would be. And you can start to see if, when you're dating, when you're looking around, when you're shopping for somebody, where they fit in. Some people may have qualities on both lists, and you'll just have to see how open-minded you are. The key is to really get to know somebody and to slow down. I don't care how hot they are, how passionate and wild and crazy the sex is in the beginning of a relationship, that courtship phase. that initial kind of rush of just being into each other, that's going to wear off at some point. You really want to get to know who this person is, what their likes and dislikes are, what their habits are, what they're like on their bad days. You know, you're going to want to get past the good behavior and see who the real person is. See behind the curtain, like in The Wizard of Oz. Because we can get into this idol worship kind of thing in the beginning. Oh, this person's so perfect, they're so wonderful. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's wonderful all the time. And, you know, a lot of relationships break up with this. You save yourself some money on a wedding ring and a divorce. And that's happening to some friends of mine right now. They both kind of woke up after 4 years of being in a relationship realizing that they don't even really know who the other person is. You could have figured it out in the beginning, save yourself some trouble. It helps, though, to really understand what it is that we're looking for when we're going for a goal, and it also helps to be disciplined, to be able to get on top of your own personal growth and to conquer your weaknesses, and so you don't end up a needy person bringing baggage from other relationships that were failed for whatever reason, anger issues, resentment issues, those types of things, bringing them into a next relationship and dumping that on somebody else. It's not fair. That type of shit will kill a relationship that could have survived. And it's just because you're not doing your work. You need to be able to do your work. And you need to be able to start building standards, and that kind of comes along with it as a benefit. The more that you work on yourself, the higher your standards are, and the more rigid you'll stay to your deal breaker list. When we're desperate, we don't really have high standards. We don't have a very valuable sense of self-worth. We don't really hold ourselves in high regard. We don't really respect ourselves. Then we can start adding those deal breakers become meaningless. We'll meet somebody, I've done this in my lonely times, meet somebody and they may have 1 or 2 or 3 things or 5 things that should be total deal breakers, red flags. No way, man. Don't date her. And I'll just overlook those. Oh, I can deal with that. Start justifying different bullshit. And then when the relationship ends like it was supposed to end because she wasn't right for me, it wasn't a relationship that was meant to be, I would end up all weepy and depressed. You want to be able to have the self-discipline and the self-respect to have a set of standards. It's a good thing. It's healthy to have boundaries and to not break that trust in yourself, in your decision-making process, to trust that you will find somebody else and that this person has some red flags and there's some deal breakers. And just because you're horny or lonely or having a sad day doesn't mean you want to go and, potentially waste a year or 2 or 3 or 4. So it's a tricky topic because the ideal mate kind of sounds lofty and childlike in some ways in my mind. There's nobody ideal, there's nobody perfect. You just get a mate. Just look for a mate. Just stop putting fantasy shit on it, fairy tale stuff. Every relationship, you can meet your dream girl tomorrow, guys. You can meet the most, what you think is the most perfect woman ever. She's beautiful, sex is great. There's gonna be arguments if you end up in a relationship with somebody. Doesn't matter who it is. You're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have times where you may want to sleep on the couch, or they do. Times when you don't even want to look at them. And how do you survive those times? You can easily survive those times if you hold somebody in high regard, if you respect them, if you have a deep sense of love for them, and you really think that they make you a better person, and that kind of thing. It's easy to be open-minded under those circumstances. But when we start putting walls up because somebody's not how we wanted them to be, it's just doomed to failure. So it's all food for thought. If you have any opinions on this, it's a big topic. Feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching.